Throughout the river of human civilization, war has been an ever-present shadow. Every revolutionary change in warfare's form has emerged from the arrival of critical weapons. Today, we'll review 10 weapons that reshaped battlefield dynamics, witnessing how they transformed the very essence of combat. 1. Armor. Creating iron giants on the battlefield. On the Mesopotamian plains around 3000 BCE, the moment Sumerian warriors first stepped onto the battlefield wearing bronze armor marked a fundamental transformation of warfare. These iron warriors became instant masters of combat. In the Trojan War, Homer's epic describes Greek warriors in bronze armor, wielding long spears and shields, forming battle formations that resembled mobile fortresses. At the Marathon Battle, Athens' heavy infantry's impenetrable wall shattered the proud light infantry of the Persian Empire. During Caesar's conquest of Gaul, Roman legions demonstrated armor's true power. With fewer than 50,000 well-equipped heavy infantry wearing plate armor and carrying long spears, they defeated multiple-fold Gallic tribal confederations. Though Gallic warriors were fierce, their crude leather armor and wooden shields crumbled against Roman standard equipment. The legion's disciplined formation, combined with superior armor, created miracles of victory against overwhelming odds. A similar scenario unfolded in the Americas in 1519, when Cortés led hundreds of fully armored Spanish conquistadors against tens of thousands of Mayan warriors. Armor again transformed warfare's trajectory. Mayan cotton armor and obsidian weapons could not penetrate Spanish steel protection, while Spanish lances and blades easily breached Mayan defenses. This massive equipment disparity made the conquest of an entire empire by mere hundreds possible. But armor was more than mere protection. It revolutionized entire tactical military systems. Warriors wearing heavy armor had to form tight formations to maximize combat effectiveness. This requirement birthed military organizations with strict training, transforming uncoordinated masses into professional war machines. 2. Stirrups. A revolutionary invention for plains cavalry. In the 4th century CE, a seemingly simple invention transformed the warfare landscape across Eurasia, the stirrup. This metal ring enabling riders to sit securely on horseback turned cavalry from ordinary mobile units into the most terrifying killers on the battlefield. With stirrups, riders could turn and shoot arrows while mounted, charge with two-handed lances without fear of falling. The Huns, Turks and Mongols built vast empires precisely through this technological advantage. On September 12, 1683, Europe witnessed its largest cavalry charge beneath Vienna's walls. Polish King Sobieski led his winged hussars, heavy cavalry adorned with magnificent wings, in a desperate charge against the Ottoman Turkish siege army. Over 3,000 Polish winged hussars, supported by stirrups, wielding 6-meter lances, formed a steel torrent. When this cavalry thundered into the Turkish ranks, the Ottoman Empire's fate was sealed. The Battle of Vienna not only saved the city, but halted Ottoman expansion into Central Europe. Stirrups elevated cavalry to legendary status, becoming the decisive battlefield force for thousands of years of warfare. 3. Flintlock rifles, a revolutionary weapon transforming war's participants. In 1630, Swedish King Gustav Adolf introduced new-style flintlock rifles, simultaneously creating unprecedented linear infantry tactics. This marked the dawn of a new era on European battlefields. At the Battle of Poltava in 1709, Peter the Great's flintlock troops decimated Sweden's most elite pikemen and cavalry. This battle not only changed Northern European history, but signaled the end of traditional cold weapon warfare. Before flintlock rifles, once formidable armored knights became nothing more than larger targets. The rifle's revolutionary impact lay in its simplicity and standardization. Unlike archers requiring 10 years of training, a farmer could become a competent rifleman in mere months. This meant armies could rapidly expand, ending the era of professional warriors. During the Napoleonic Wars, this advantage reached its zenith. In 1793, facing invasion by European royal coalitions, the French revolutionary government issued the Levée en masse decree. Within months, thousands of ordinary French citizens were transformed into qualified riflemen. This citizen army enabled Napoleon's later European conquests. At the Battle of Austerlitz, this citizen militia defeated the professional Austro-Russian Allied forces through tactical brilliance and extraordinary fighting spirit. Without the easily mastered flintlock, Napoleon's Grand Army could never have been assembled so quickly. Fourth, machine gun. The reaper of modern battlefields. When German troops entered Belgium with Maxim machine guns in 1914, they likely didn't realize how profoundly this weapon would reshape warfare. In World War I's early stages, Anglo-French forces still used Napoleonic-era tactics, launching dense formations against German positions. The result was catastrophic. A single machine gun could cause hundreds of casualties in minutes. Ultimately, trenches became the only refuge. On the first day of the Somme battle in 1916, the British lost nearly 60,000 men, with almost 20,000 killed, primarily from German machine gun fire. During the battle's most intense moments, German gunners had to cool overheated gun barrels with urine after exhausting their water reserves. This new weapon not only ended traditional linear infantry tactics, but forced armies to develop entirely new combat methods. Trench warfare, flanking tactics, and small-scale assaults all emerged under the machine gun's existential threat. 5. Railway system, the bloodstream of war. In 1862, during the American Civil War, the Union Army fully leveraged the railway network's advantages, rapidly deploying troops and supplies across various battlefields. This was humanity's first witness to a railway system's military potential. In the Franco-Prussian War, the Prussian army, relying on meticulously planned railway networks, completed the mobilization and deployment of 300,000 troops in just 18 days, a process that previously would have taken months. This unprecedented movement speed caught France completely off guard. While French forces were still assembling, Prussian troops had already completed their strategic positioning. During World War I, a single railway line could transport up to 50 fully loaded troop or supply trains daily. This meant an entire division's troops and corresponding logistics could be transported in a single day. This transportation revolution fundamentally altered war's scale and duration, directly leading to unprecedented conflict expansion and dramatically increased war intensity. 6. Aircraft, the game of air supremacy. From the moment aircraft first took to the skies, humans contemplated their military potential. In 1909, the world's first military aircraft, the Wright military flyer, entered US Army service. In the 1911 Italian-Turkish War, humans first used aircraft in combat. Within a few short years, World War I's aerial battles and bombing campaigns transformed aircraft from pure reconnaissance tools to instruments of sky domination and ground attack, ushering humanity into warfare's three-dimensional realm. On September 1st, 1939, German Luftwaffe Stuka dive bombers howled across Polish skies, inaugurating World War II. These precision-designed bombing aircraft, combined with ground-armored units, became Lightning War's critical element. Within weeks, Poland, Netherlands, and Belgium fell, with France surrendering in 6 weeks. The Stuka's iconic piercing scream became an irresistible symbol of blitzkrieg. As the war progressed, air supremacy's balance began shifting. Allied strategic bomber fleets commenced round-the-clock bombing of German territory. By 1944, the Allied heavy bomber fleet completely controlled German airspace. They destroyed industrial centers, railway junctions, and fuel facilities, fundamentally undermining Germany's war potential. These strategic bombings became modern air power's paradigm. By war's end, many German cities lay in ruins, with industrial production capacity almost entirely destroyed, proving that in modern warfare, whoever controls the skies controls the war's initiative. At sea, the Pearl Harbor attacks, Japanese carrier-based aircraft completely transformed maritime warfare perceptions. Henceforth, aircraft carriers replaced battleships as naval primary forces. The Battle of Midway and the destruction of Germany's Bismarck and Japan's Yamato battleships signaled the definitive arrival of the air maritime era. In the 1991 Gulf War, air power first superseded ground forces as warfare's primary driver. The 1999 NATO bombing of Yugoslavia became the first conflict where victory was achieved solely through air power. 7th, tanks, revolution in land warfare. When British forces first used tanks in the Somme Battle of 1916, these cumbersome land battleships seemed quite immature. But merely 20 years later, Germany's armoured units in World War II's Blitzkrieg demonstrated shocking power. General Guderian's armoured groups in the 1940 France campaign broke through the Maginot Line with thunderous force, conquering entire France in less than 6 weeks. This battle forever transformed perceptions of land warfare. At the Battle of Kursk, the number of tanks deployed reached an astonishing 6,000, the largest armoured engagement in human history. Tanks had evolved from infantry support weapons to primary battle-deciding forces. Concentrating firepower, protection and mobility, tanks became modern land armies' core. They definitively retired cavalry from the historical stage and rendered traditional trench defences obsolete. Even today, tanks remain an indispensable land combat force. 8. Nuclear weapons. The ultimate weapon, changing war's essence. On December 2, 1942, in the abandoned Chicago University handball court, Enrico Fermi's scientific team achieved humanity's first controlled nuclear fission. This Chicago Pile 1 experiment laid the groundwork for the Manhattan Project's success. Over the next 3 years, the United States assembled its finest scientists, investing an astronomical $2 billion to establish a scientific city in New Mexico's desert. On July 16, 1945, the Trinity test successfully detonated the first atomic bomb. Less than a month later, Hiroshima and Nagasaki experienced this weapon's terrifying power. Nuclear weapons' emergence fundamentally transformed great powers' war logic. Under nuclear deterrence, although local conflicts persisted during the Cold War, full-scale conflicts between major powers became unimaginable. This terror balance somewhat maintained world peace. 9. Satellites. The celestial eye, unveiling battlefield mysteries. In the 1991 Gulf War, US forces used satellite technology to gain unprecedented battlefield situational awareness. Iraqi forces' every movement occurred under American surveillance, with this information advantage directly enabling the war's swift resolution. Satellites have become an indispensable modern warfare element. Beyond high-resolution optical reconnaissance, they perform electronic signal detection, communication relay, meteorological observation, and multiple other tasks. GPS's emergence made large-scale precision-guided weapons a reality. However, as seen in the Russia-Ukraine war, when both sides possess satellite reconnaissance capabilities, warfare returns to attritional states. Large-scale surprise attacks become nearly impossible, making wars increasingly brutal and prolonged. The war artistry of legendary commanders exploiting battlefield fog, creating victories against overwhelming odds, seems to have disappeared with modern reconnaissance technologies. War becomes a cold, monotonous consumption of pure force. 10. Unmanned drones, pioneers of future warfare. During counter-terrorism operations, the United States began extensively using military drones for battlefield monitoring and ground target strikes. If US drone warfare in counter-terrorism represented asymmetric conflict against guerrilla forces, the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh conflict saw Azerbaijan's drones deliver devastating strikes against Armenian armored units, signaling a new military revolution. The 2022 Russia-Ukraine war's widespread drone usage shocked the world. From small reconnaissance craft to payload-carrying suicide drones, from high-altitude multi-purpose platforms to affordable consumer quadcopters, drones have thoroughly transformed modern battlefields. The 2024 Zhuhai Air Show revealed China's massive unmanned combat systems. From high-altitude drones rivaling America's Global Hawk to palm-sized swarm tactical machines, from ground-based robotic dogs and wolves to underwater autonomous vehicles, China demonstrated a comprehensive, multidimensional unmanned combat system. China's powerful industrial manufacturing capacity enables rapid, large-scale production of these unmanned platforms. Future battlefields might confront human soldiers with nearly infinite intelligent combat machines, tireless, fearless, capable of 24-hour continuous operation. Quickly replacing losses, this form of attrition warfare surpasses the brutality of any conflict in human history. As artificial intelligence merges with drone technology, enabling autonomous operations, decentralized control and inter-drone communication, we might witness thousands of drone formations obscuring battlefields. Operating simultaneously in air, ground and underwater domains, they'll form a deadly, comprehensive network. In vast space, numerous drone space killers will destroy enemy satellite constellations. In cyberspace, AI hackers will autonomously attack and paralyze entire societal networks. Countless AIs will conduct cognitive warfare through social media personas. This comprehensive, multi-dimensional unmanned warfare will transform millennia of human-to-human combat into history. Perhaps soon, battlefields will rarely showcase human soldiers, replaced by drone formation conflicts. But this doesn't make war more humane. Quite the opposite. When combat machines no longer consider personnel casualties, warfare might become even more ruthless. More terrifyingly, when rulers possess an eternally loyal, emotionless drone army, they might disregard human needs and lives, potentially requiring fewer human beings, consequences beyond imagination. These 10 weapons have profoundly transformed human warfare. From bronze armor to intelligent drones, from hand-to-hand combat to long-range precision strikes, warfare's form continuously evolves. Yet its essence, violence and destruction, remains unchanged.